Drama, bin drama, Arab drama, ole drama, zote pamoja. Yesterday, one of the daily newspapers in the country called Kenya was forced to pull down an article just a few hours after that article was published. So, what was this article all about? The title of the article was Uhuru should resign or be forced out through civil disobedience. Hey. And by the way, it was an opinion piece. An opinion piece is where somebody writes an article based on their personal opinion. And remember, if you have a column in a daily newspaper, an opinion piece column that is regular, for it to be popular, you must be controversial. Let's bear that in mind. And of course, the most popular columnists are the ones who echo what the people are saying and what the people are feeling. Now, this particular piece stepped on a live electrical wire when it said that President Uhuru Kenyatta is being kept in power by the military and the Luo community, via the handshake. What? Well, I'm just wondering to myself, because you can be controversial, but I'm just wondering what the writer of this piece expected. You know, when we were young, we used to have a saying, what do you expect when you go to a police station and then you start throwing stones, inside the police station, aimed at the police officers? What do you expect? And you're all alone. What do you expect? Watatoka hapo, wakunyoroshe na wakuweke ndani. But of course, we must bear in mind that the country called Kenya is supposed to have a free press, free expression. And I dare add, that is exactly the analysis of many Kenyans about our current political situation. That is the truth. It is a naive analysis, in my opinion, but it is the analysis of many. I say naive because it goes much deeper than that. And if you're a regular on this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And just how deep it goes. Anyway, I want to draw your attention to a super fascinating fact linked to this latest development. 11 months ago, roughly, yet another article was pulled down from the same daily newspaper site. And the article was titled, "More Time for Uhuru." Now, cutting to the chase, where this particular article stepped on a live KPLC electric wire was the suggestion, that the article was making that Uhuru, President Uhuru Kenyatta, should be allowed to continue to a third term in office. That made some Kenyans see red. And the backlash forced the same newspaper group, I believe it is Radio Africa, owned by a Ghanaian called Patrick Kwaku, co-owned. He has local partners, of course. Watu wazito, or as Hezron says, wakubwa. But I'll come back to that in a minute. Same site, the article was pulled down because of the backlash. Indeed, many people said they believe the article was written by none other than a man called Professor Mutahi Ngunyi of the Fifth Estate YouTube channel fame. Now, the question in this kind of situations is always the following. Was there a call these people received from State House shortly before the article was pulled down? And I'm talking about the latest article calling for civil disobedience to remove President Uhuru Kenyatta if he does not resign. That's the article I'm talking about. Did they receive a call? Before I answer that question and give you some information that I'm sure will shock and floor many of you, let's back up a little and dig deeper to find out who is really behind Radio Africa, because it is one of the most fascinating media houses we have in Kenya. The co-founder and main brains behind Radio Africa is not a Kenyan. It's a Ghanaian by the name of Patrick Kwaku. I know there are many of you who never miss Maina and Kingangi, Maina Kageni, on his talk show every morning. Classic FM is Radio Africa. And I know there are those of you who are older who remember how a radio station called Kshs FM burst into the limelight in the early 2000s. And the famous presenter Wakwitu Caroline Mutoko. Indeed, that is how Patrick Kwaku and his Radio Africa burst into the scene in Kenya. The whole group was launched with the radio station Kshs FM, which became instantly very popular. In my opinion, Bwana Kwaku, Patrick Kwaku, is a marketing genius. You know you can start any business enterprise, but without a marketing person who understands the market, you'll go nowhere, no matter how good your product or service is. That is a fact. And this Ghanaian thrives on controversy. And I'm sure those of you who understand media know that controversy sells. Something controversial will sell a newspaper. It will sell a radio station. Now, part of Patrick Kwaku's education was in the UK, Britain, at the Manchester Business School between 1984 and 1986. Now, I mention this because Britain is a country that has very popular newspapers. Some people call them gutter press, that thrive on controversy. Newspapers like The Sun, actually, they're called tabloids. And there's always something on page 3 that interests most men. A young lady, who is usually dressed in such a way that it is very difficult to see the clothes she's wearing, even with a microscope. I want to believe that this is part of the influence that Bwana Kwaku has gone through. Because if you listen to Maina Kageni's show, sometimes wanapenda sana kuongea mambo ya kitanda. Yep. And they've gotten in trouble with a media policeman, a man called Bwana Mutua. Most Kenyans are very familiar with this morality policeman in Kenya, whose latest victim, at least one of his latest victims, is comedian Eric Omondi, who went overboard with this show about finding a wife in East Africa. Just to be clear, Eric Omondi does not work for Radio Africa. But my point is, Radio Africa has grown very quickly. Radio Africa has become very successful because of controversy. You can have the best journalists, the most qualified journalists, but without certain ingredients like controversy, you'll go nowhere as a media house. Bottom line, controversy is Radio Africa's middle name. that background, I believe, was important so that we have a balanced piece on this channel. Here we're looking at all sides. But in my opinion, and based on the information I have, what we're talking about here goes beyond the normal controversy, because this is politics. Let us start by reminding ourselves that politicians, major politicians, all have their people in the media. That is a fact. And let us also remind ourselves that one of the ways of getting the public to change their opinion is through media. Media influences public opinion. Media can incite. That's a fact. Before we come to the latest article, let us go back to the one 11 months ago. It is difficult to convince anybody that that article was not pushed forward, promoted by supporters and handlers of the president. The idea being to gauge the mood of the public, and also, if possible, to get the public used to the idea of a third term for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And I have reason to believe that the people at the forefront of the backlash that article got were people on the other side of the political divide. Staunch supporters of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. Because a third term for Uhuru Kenyatta is disaster for William Samoei Ruto. That is a fact. Now let's come back to the latest development, the latest article. I need to clear my throat. Now, there is something very nagging about this latest piece. And I'm sure this is the information that made State House see red. Whether or not they placed a call, that's not the issue. I'm not saying they placed a call. But I'm saying this information would definitely have made the president's handlers see red. And it has something to do with Bwana Patrick Kwaku's local partners in Radio Africa. I know at least one person on the board, very influential, I shall not reveal their identity, who is a staunch supporter of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. He is a businessman. He does not go public with his leaning. And of course, State House has this information and more. So what do you think their reaction was when an article appears with the headline or the prominent suggestion that Uhuru should resign or be forced out through civil disobedience? What do you think? Do you think they said, oh, that's a very nice balanced piece? Well done. Or do you think they saw nyekundu, rangi nyekundu? You know, it is impossible to analyze some of these things that happen in politics, in fact, most things that happen in politics, unless you have some inside information. Information that is not widely available. And this is the kind of information you'll find in my weekly intelligence briefings. And so I suggest you take a moment to listen. Final correction. To what my WIBs are all about. Trust me, it is important for you, especially where we have reached in Kenyan politics. And I'll also be brutally honest. It is also very important for me and the work I do on this channel. Thanks so much in advance for your support. While I try my very best to give you real value on this public channel and to give you all the valuable information I can, the truth is there's some information that is way too sensitive to share on this public channel. That information usually ends up in my weekly intelligence briefings, which is usually moto kama pasi. Just to give you a few examples, what really happened to former President of Tanzania, Dr. John Pombe Magufuli? Is it true that he passed on at a Nairobi hospital? Actually, the Magufuli inside story is nothing short of mind-boggling. Most people who have taken in my WIB number 52, which contains this information, have been left breathless. Even the most hardened cynics have been left bila words, if I can put it in the Kenyan way. Another example of a WIB that I published recently. There is a secret that those who are close to Raila Odinga have guarded and continue to guard with everything they have. Why is this particular secret so sensitive? And what is it anyway? It is contained in one of my WIBs. In fact, a recent one. And there's much more, including things you'd never imagine that are happening in the corridors of power that neatly explain what we see unfolding in the public domain. Bottom line, you will never look at Kenyan politics in the same way again after you become a WIB subscriber. Indeed, it is true to say that in most instances, the truth is stranger than fiction, and sometimes much more difficult to believe than fiction. But it remains the naked truth. And now you have a golden opportunity of becoming a weekly intelligence briefing subscriber on a monthly basis, which will automatically give you access to every single WIB ever produced. Oh yes, I will send you all the WIBs immediately you become a subscriber. And to become a monthly subscriber, all you need is $9.95 only, or Kenya shillings 995 only. Simply send a blank email to the email address you see on your screens right now, and you'll get an automated response via email instantly, within seconds, with full payment instructions and what you need to do. The same full payment instructions are also included in the description area below this video on YouTube. I strongly recommend that you go for it, because this offer will not last for much longer. I really look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WIB subscriber. Thanks so much for your support. It means a lot to me. And I'm saying that very sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to seeing you on the other side as a WIB subscriber. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.